Hello, good morning, everyone. This is Kelly Sabas, the Chief Curator here at Yoga. Welcome to our pilot episode of our Wellness Workshop series, Redefine. For today's premiere, we are going to have Miss Dot Tome as our speaker for today, and it is my pleasure to introduce her to you. Miss Dot devotes her time to listening to anyone who connects with her and to giving her all in helping them find their inner truth, if they so desire. As student and facilitator of A Course in Miracles, the Enneagram, and the Law of Attraction, she practices beingness, allowing, and non-attachment in her personal life and professional work. Miss Dot, or Dorothy Lenore Liariza Tome, taught in a Montessori preschool for 14 years and was a Steiner Waldorf parent for 7 years before living in Las Vegas as a community leader and volunteer. She holds a master's degree in education, a bachelor's degree in humanities, and certificates in angel card reading, life coaching, youth theory, and the science of well-being. Ms. Dot also hosts the On the Dot radio show at PHLV and on Facebook as well with Mia, her partner. Miss Dot has 4 adult children who are now living their lives to the fullest in their chosen field. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Redefine Happiness, and I'm gonna give the floor to Miss Dot. Hi, Dot. Welcome
Hi, Kelly. Welcome. Welcome to
to everyone.
Redefine Happiness. Welcome to
Yes,
everyone. And thank you very much, Kelly, for inviting me to be part of this very important thing because our wellness is very important. So, shall we move on with the slides? Shall we begin?
yeah. Jump in. You're right. Yeah, sure.
All
Would you like to
righty.
share your screen?
Yes. For those who are watching the recording, feel free to interact with us. We have our emails. I think you can connect through me via Kelly. So if you have questions later, then you can do that. So I'm going to share my screen. Just hold on a bit. And here it is.
Beautiful
Everything's good,
artwork.
Kelly? Everything's good?
Yes,
Thank you
yes,
so much. You like it?
very much.
That's
Very
my
heavy.
yeah, that's my drawing one time when I was so happy. So, I just took a bunch of colored pencils and just did that. So it's part of our happiness workshop
I can
today.
feel it. Yeah, and this
Y-
drawing so colorful.
Yeah,
And are
this
those butterflies or flowers?
those are I don't know. They look like ribbons and
Mm-hmm.
butterflies. I don't know. I don't know what they are.
They're
Curls.
abstract. Yeah, it can be both. It can look like butterfly and flower and the colors. So
Yes.
they're all happy colors, happy
Yes,
things.
they are happy colors. And we redefine happiness today, not because we want to change the meaning of happiness, but more like finding the context of happiness that's suitable for us. So the meaning of happiness, according to Encyclopedia Britannica, is a state of emotional well-being. That's a very short description of happiness. Another one is positive evaluation of one's life in the overall sense. So when we talk about happiness in this short workshop, um, we take into consideration every theory, every study, and every test or every learning that has ever come up in the course of human history. And for me, everything is valid. For me, everything works. Everything is part of how we experience happiness. But for this particular workshop, just for the next 30 minutes, we will focus on the actions. It's like happiness in action now. It isn't just theory. This is not the time to talk about the theories on happiness or the practice of happiness, but actually 6 actions that lead to flow state. And these actions have been tested and proven by 25 participants who joined the happiness project that I created in the beginning of the pandemic in 2020 after studying the science of well-being here with Kelly from Yale University under Professor Laurie Santos. Okay, so that's the, shall we say, the disclaimer for that.
Introduction.
Yes. So, all
So
right.
for everyone, you can. I have a question, if that's okay, Dot.
Sure,
For
sure.
everyone who are not familiar with flow state, are you going to define that inside the lecture, or do you want to give them like as a brief definition? What does that mean?
I surely will. I surely will, Kelly.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
so for now, based on the work of Mr. Martin Seligman, I don't know how where the
Yeah,
accent is. What makes up
telling.
happiness? So he talked deeply and in detail about the difference between happiness and well-being. But the 3 things that came up for me are these things: positive emotion, engagement, and meaning. Positive emotion, of course, in a scale of Abraham Hicks's scale of 24 emotions or 26. The positive ones go up towards love and joy, um, confidence, those emotions that bring a flutter to your heart. Okay. Engagement is the connection we have with ourselves, with whatever we're doing, with people around us, with the environment, with the community, with nature. So that's the engagement aspect of happiness. And then meaning, of course, is it meaningful? Is it fulfilling for you? Does it give value to your life? Whatever it is that makes you happy. And then, of course, Miracle says, I love this so much. God being love is also happiness. Isn't that cute? God being love is also happiness. So we move on to your question, Kelly. What is flow state? This is again coming from Martin Seligman, the loss of self consciousness and sense of time during an absorbing activity. So, in happiness, when we're feeling very happy, we get into that flow state. We don't know what time it is. We're so absorbed in what we're doing or what we are not doing. So, it becomes almost like you're one with whatever, with the universe. That's the flow state. You're not
Right.
in a hurry. Yeah. You're
And I
not at
think
all in a hurry.
right. And I think the example that was given was like, for example, an artist being into the flow state wherein they create a masterpiece without, eating or sleeping at times.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. Have you ever been in a flow state, Kelly?
When I was working, maybe, but I don't know if you call it state, flow state, or just like running around and you don't notice that you're hungry or you lack
Mm-hmm.
sleep just because you're powered by energy. Maybe,
Yes.
maybe not. I have to think back if that's my flow state because it was for me, it was just work at that time.
Well, work can be, it could be work, it could be play, it could be like you're in meditation, but you're just not at all concerned with other people's opinions. You're not concerned with time. You're just there. You're fully present. So that's the meaning
Right.
of flow state for me.
And
It's
I think the
stress
key,
free.
sorry to interrupt. And I think the
Go
key
ahead.
thing there is you are doing something creative, right? You're not just, running around and going in circles, forgetting to eat, like I said earlier. It's not, that's a difference for me, is if you're doing something creative and that you have something productive in the end, which
Yes,
in that example is a painting, or it could be music, or it
it could
could
be that.
be drawing, or um gardening could be that too. Anything that you absorb yourself in that involves creativity.
That's it. Yes, creativity or connection with the
Right.
present moment. There's no
Mm.
past and there's no future. You're fully present in the here and the now. That's a flow state because you're not bothered at all by anything. And when you're out of it, then life goes on in the outside world. The other day, or maybe 3 days ago, I really wrote this down because I was so amazed with this. I think I did about from 6 a.m. till 2 a.m. of the next day. I was in a continuous flow state. Like I
Wow.
was able to complete the whole tasks that showed up for me. I did not plan on anything, but everything showed up and I was completely absorbed in whatever it was, and it kept showing up, kept showing up. I was never tired, Kelly. Not
Wow.
tired physically, mentally, or emotionally. Everything was perfect.
Right. Oh, I
It's like
think that's an important
it
difference
is.
too, right? You're happy, you're energized
Yes.
doing this thing. You're not like complaining, like, oh, I haven't
No,
eaten.
no,
I'm so tired.
no,
No, it's the opposite of it. When you're in flow
no.
state, you enjoy what you're doing despite not eating or sleeping. But we're not
Oh, I
telling
ate.
everyone to we're not telling everyone to, not eat and sleep, because that's the opposite of what we're doing here, talking about self-care and wellness. What we're just defining is that the flow state involves those factors.
Yes. Oh, I ate. And I was eating with such joy. I was in flow state while eating, making coffee, talking to my dog, walking for 3K. That is such a phenomenal event for me. And I said, oh, this could be addictive. And I didn't take anything, no coffee, no drugs. I don't take any of those things. But anyway, that's the flow state. So in connection with that, with what I said, if you looked at every aspect of your life, this is the life satisfaction survey that I got from the Organizational Change Consultants International, incorporated the life satisfaction matrix, the integrated life matrix. Is that it? Is that what I wrote? Yes. So in the workshop that the Happiness Project workshop that I did, and also in a lot of my coachings, we begin with this. On your journal, you rate each aspect of your life from 1 to 10, 1 being awful to 10 being awesome. So these are the 8 different aspects of our life, Kelly: physical
Mhm.
health, environment, finances, career, creative expression, spiritual development. This includes the spiritual development, includes your cognitive development, your studies, intimate life, and social life. At the beginning of the project, we want to assess how satisfied are you with your life. Because remember, at the beginning definition of happiness is your overall satisfaction with your life. So this is very important. If you want to do this on your own, you can do that. You just put a number, let's say physical health 1, then you put 1 in there, and then eventually you will color or shade that part. So this, where my arrow is, that would be the 5, level
Mhm.
5. The 10 would be
Yeah.
all the way out here. So you will see if your wheel is completely round or is it
Mhm.
jagged. And if it's jagged, you will understand why your life is not running smoothly, because the wheel to run smoothly has to be perfect, a perfect circle.
Oh,
You see?
okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
for
I've done
example,
something like this, but it's
mhm,
not circular. So it's first time I'm hearing the wheel. And if it's not Okay, I
Yes.
got it. Yeah. Can you hide
Yes.
the sharing button? I want to see what's written there. It says hide
Oh, I
there.
think it's just coming from if I hit it, I won't be able to stop
Stop.
share later. Yeah.
Okay, because it's
Okay.
there's a text there. Seeing the center of the wheel as 0 and the outer edge
Uh
as 10. So level. I think you explained that well. I
yes.
just wanted to make
Yes.
sure that we read that or we understand that.
Yes. Yes. That's the life wheel. So yeah, you can do this. I do this very regularly, like twice a year.
Right.
I do this. I did this with
Right.
the children, right?
So for
And
those
so,
who are at home watching this, you can pause this video now
mhm,
and do this introspection, and you can think about all aspects in your life, physically, financial,
mhm,
career, spiritual,
mhm.
social, and do that coloring now. So since you're watching the recording, you can pause it. But for the purpose of
All
this
right.
workshop, we're going to move on to the next slide.
Yes, thank you so much, Kelly. So, having seen the wheel of your life, okay, in the next slides, I'm going to show you 6 actions or 6 activities, I would say, that would lead to, a flow. And these are powerful, tested, and proven, as I said before, in the happiness project. So let's move on. The familiar too. So I divided them into 3 categories: the familiar, the overlooked, and the controversial. Why do I say that? You will find out. The familiar two are gratitude and kindness. Okay. So why are they familiar? Because you hear them all the time. You know,
Mm-hmm.
do you do the
It's easy
gratitude?
to do. I mean, easy conceptually, but it's harder to do sometimes. Am
Well,
I right?
it takes 21 days to get it going, Kelly, to make it very easy. I've been practicing the gratitude for over 5 years, and I use the
Mm-hmm.
gratitude jar, and it's over there in front of me. I can't stand and get it, but
So will you
yeah,
say it's a practice then?
it is a practice.
Doing
It
it
has
every
become a
day.
lifetime.
Right.
Yes, either it's before my day begins or at the end of the day or any time of the day I write on my gratitude jar. So they are little pieces of paper, and later if I can stand I'm gonna get that. And then the
No,
other
it's
one
okay.
is
I think the
kindness.
people get it. So you put
Yeah.
you take I have it here.
Hmm.
Uh what do you call it? Sticky note?
No, I don't use
Fold it
sticky note. I do not use sticky note, Kelly, because
or whatever
employ
paper.
I employ my practice of recycling paper. So
Ah, okay.
maybe an old envelope like this from AT&T. Okay, I
Mm-hmm.
cut this up. I make sure that nothing is printed at the back of the piece of paper that I write on. And as a matter of fact, it should be right there. Uh, and then I shape it, and that's where I write my gratitude for the day. Just at least one item a day.
And everyone at home, you can do this wherever, whatever you wish to do, right? For
Right.
Dot, she likes recycling, which is a great idea. Other people use different colors of paper, put it in a jar so they can see all those happy colors. So it's totally up to you. Or you can journal. Have a
You can
notebook. That's
journal.
also very, very effective. Every
Yeah.
time in the morning before you start the day or
Right.
before you end your day, you write your gratitude. So this
Yeah.
is something that is kind of, for me, it's a low hanging fruit. It's a practice. You just
Mm-hmm.
do your gratitude or say your gratitude every day. But that will give
Yes.
us more tips on how we can make this gratitude practice in part of our, daily life.
Right. So I also have gratitude journal, but for me, I love the fun of writing on little pieces of paper, and I put them in a jar. And I have done this for the past 5 years. And every 31st of December, at the end of the year, I take out these little pieces of paper and I pass them around, and the family can find their own names there. I said, here you are, September 12th. I talked about you. I was grateful that you skated home safely. Things like those. So for
Wow.
gratitude here, you can write. This is the extra. This is an upgrade, I would say. Don't just
Mm-hmm.
write what you're grateful for. You can draw, you can
Hmm.
paint, or you can express in visual form 5 items of gratitude every day, and never repeat the same item for the next 7 days. This is according to the happiness project that 25 people went through. Never repeat the same item for the next 7 days. And this may be done in your journal or gratitude jar. You can use colored writing instruments to engage different parts of your brain. Okay. So this is so fun. This other drawing here, that's also one of my happy drawings, Kelly.
Nice.
So
You're such an artist, Dot.
thank you so much. So in the gratitude, that's the gratitude aspect. And let's move on to the kindness. So here's a thought from one of the participants. I asked their permission. Some of them gave their permission. Some of them said, just don't mention my name. So L, this person, we'll call her L. She lived in a resort, and she surprised in Boracay. And for kindness, she surprised the cleaning lady, the house cleaner, the hotel cleaner.
Housekeep. Mm-hmm.
But when she came
Housekeeping.
in, when the cleaning lady came in, Miss L told the cleaning lady to just sit down and I'll do the cleaning for you for the day. So that was her kindness, act of kindness. The other one, Karen, this is very important. She wanted her name to be mentioned at least, she said she did kindness to herself. How's that? She finally expressed, she said, I finally expressed my suppressed shits. Forgive the word, but that's how she said it. It was the best thing I have done to myself. So she expressed her anger to a toxic member of the family. And for her, that was the kindness she could do to herself. So in our practice, you don't have to be angry to express kindness, but that was what her soul needed at the time. So for others, you can extend one act of kindness to at least one sentient being. So by that, I mean you can be kind to a person or an animal or even a plant, even though a plant is a sentient being every day. Here's the upgrade. Never repeat the same act or to the same person being for the next 7 days. And then it's important to write your insights in your journal. Why is that? Because when you see with your eyes the action that happened, you see it in your journal, you are magnifying it, you are reinforcing it, and you are repeating the emotion, the feel of the happiness, the feel of the positive emotion that you got from or that you experienced from your kindness. And that is important to feel constantly this positive emotion throughout your day. Professor Laurie Santos said you need to um, spread out your happiness all throughout the day so that you bump up everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
She calls it, if I remember it right, random act of kindness, or RAK. RAK. Or R. Are the
Yes.
people say ARK? It's the other way around. Acts of random kindness. ARK or RAK.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can be random about it or you can be deliberate about it in this project. You can be
All right. Yeah.
random or you can be deliberate. But the more random it is, the better it is because you're on a lookout for kindness everywhere, opportunities to be kind everywhere. Yeah. Moving along. The overlooked two. Why am I saying that these two practices are overlooked? Because we don't really remember them. We don't really
Mm,
talk much about them. These are
right.
savoring, excuse me, and receiving. Here's the thing that Dr. Santos said, our professor, she's a doctor. She said, why do we need to do this? Because we are focused on the idea. Sometimes we are focused on the idea of something, but not the actual experience. So, for
Mm-hmm.
example, if you're grateful for coffee, that's a thought, right? That's a feeling. You're
Mm-hmm.
grateful for it. But to savor it is to really sit down or stand up, whatever you want to do, uh, and really put your whole sense into it. The other one is receiving. I'm going to talk about that in a
So
little bit.
using all your senses. Oh yeah, there it is.
Savor an experience for at least 3 minutes every day. So use one specific sense every day. We were told that there are only six senses, but in Waldorf there are 12. So I included the three others here. So for day one, you can probably savor the smell of your lotion. One participant, she savored the smell of her baby. She put her baby next to her and just smelled
Mm,
her baby for 3 minutes. That's savoring. Then the other one
mhm,
is touch, hearing, sight, taste, and here we go. Movement. You can savor your movement. Sometimes you just put up your hand or you watch your hand move and see the flow of your hand. That's movement. Or even you can turn your head very slowly and feel every muscle, and that
mhm,
is savoring. The other one is weight. You know, you can carry something, perhaps a book. You're putting one book from your table to the shelf. Savor the weight of that book. Do it slow. Be in it. Be part of the book. The other one is space, and this is very beautiful for those who are into meditation. You close your eyes and you just feel the space. Be aware of the space around you, above you, in front of you, at your back. That's savoring. Then again, do not repeat the same sense of savoring for the next 7 days. Then here's the thing, share the experience with someone, because savoring is not something that you can record. So, why do you want to share it? Because you want to, again, magnify it. Okay, you want to
mm.
repeat it,
Th-
re-experience the thing when you share it with someone,
I have
and
a
you can
question.
write your insights in your journal. Go ahead.
I have a follow-up question on that sharing. Does social media count as sharing? Because you're sharing it with people.
You can, yes,
Okay, good.
it
Okay,
does.
guys, you can
It
do that.
counts. You can do that, yes. But it's so much better if you're savoring it with another person, one on
Right.
one. You know,
So
yeah,
would you say that mindful eating is an example I've
it
heard
is.
in before, right? So savoring the
Yes,
taste of your food or
yes,
smelling your coffee and the
yes.
aroma and
Mm-hmm.
savoring all of that. Okay.
Yes, yes. Richard, he gave permission for me to use his name. He's not, the effect for him of savoring is this. I realize I am not my emotions, but rather the
Oh,
observer of my emotions. And he
that's nice.
said, I was able to correct my illusory perceptions of lack, attachment, and control by savoring. He moved
I
to a
love it.
place where, yeah, that's so beautiful, right? I was able to correct my illusions, my illusory
Mm.
perceptions of lack, attachment, and control. He moved to a place where there's no internet, and he would
Mm.
just come back to the city and once in a while check his emails. But he said, because I lived in a rural setting, I was able to savor every single thing, the rain, the feel of
Mm-hmm.
mud on his feet. And for him, it was such a spiritual experience. The other one, Miss G, she said, savoring increased my level of appreciation. Right?
That's
Whew,
nice.
take a deep breath and we move on to the
Let's
next.
savor this moment.
All right. Now, in receiving, we were told that it's better to give than to receive. But A Course in Miracles
Mm.
says that giving and receiving are the same thing. They are of equal
Mm-hmm.
value, because what you give is the same thing you receive for yourself, because you and the other person are not separate. We are all one. So when I give these thoughts to you, Kelly, or to everyone else, I am
Yeah,
also receiving them, because I am reinforcing them in myself. So
right.
receive at least one thing every day. So 3 items to receive for the next 3 days. for example, are number one, a material thing. Number two, an act of service and a compliment. So here's the thing. If nobody, there's bullet number four. If nothing is received randomly, ask for it. For example, do you like my dress?
I do.
Okay, you're asking for a compliment, right? And then the other one is, can you please help me with putting the curtains up? You're asking for an act of service. The other one is,
Mhm.
may I have a cup of coffee, please? You're asking for a material thing. Then the important thing is to simply say thank you as acknowledgement. Do not explain anything or do not downplay the gift. Sometimes when people say, I like your
Yeah.
dress, Kelly, and Kelly will say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you know what? I bought this from da 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 da. Don't explain.
Mm-hmm.
Just say thank you.
Thank
The
you.
act, yes, the act of receiving is powerful. We overlook it. It when we don't do that, when we are resistant to receive, we are blocking the other person to express his giving. Okay, so it's important to
Oh,
receive. We don't want to block
that
the
is
other
really,
person.
really good. Okay, say that again.
When we resist the receiving, when we say, no, thank you, I don't want that, we are blocking the other person the opportunity for him or her to express giving, to express kindness,
So
to
it's an
express
exchange.
generosity, right? So
Right.
Miss N was a perfectionist and she's a giver, and it's very difficult for her to receive because she's the one in charge of anything. But when she did this exercise, she said, I was able to sit down and allow someone else to wash the dishes for me. Right? And Miss A, she's an alpha mother. She said, I have issue with receiving, but finally I asked my son for a favor, and I calmly received what he gave me. That is powerful.
Very powerful.
Right. Okay.
So again,
Moving
this
on.
is a review of the Happiness Project based
Yes.
on the science of well-being. So we already talked about four
Hmm.
um, practices that can cultivate
Yes.
happiness. So now we're down to two controversial. I'm very excited to hear about this.
How are we on the time, Kelly?
We are a little bit over, but we
Uh
can yeah,
oh.
wrap this up and then
Okay.
we have
Okay.
time.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
All right. So these two are controversial. They are not in the science of well-being. One is dropping money, and the other is forgiving a story. So here's the thing about dropping money. Think of an amount of cash that you can afford to give away with a bit of discomfort. Why is that important? I'll tell you. You put the cash in an envelope, you drop the envelope randomly in a public place without being seen. That's important. Nobody has to know you that you dropped it. Leave the place without looking back to see who picked it up. Then, of course, you write your insights in the journal. Why is this so important? Because we want to let go of our attachment to how money looks like, how money is supposed to be received, how, our relationship with money is one of the controversial things in the world. It's one of the most difficult things in the world. So when we do this, it's like, you want to donate something to the hurricane victims. You don't
Mm-hmm.
you don't go back and check, oh, who got my $20. I want to know who got that. No, because we want to allow the universe to decide where that money should go. And can you imagine how the person will feel when he sees money on the floor? You have experienced this yourself. You saw cash on the ground. And how do you react? You say, oh my God, I'm so blessed. An angel dropped money for me. So we are giving another person an opportunity to feel blessed without the need for us to be the object of gratitude, to be the direct,
Mm.
oh, you're so good, Dorothy.
Or
Thank
you're
you for,
so generous.
yes, you're so
This is, yeah,
generous. Yes,
that's why it's controversial because I think this is going to be the hardest part, or maybe the harder.
it
Maybe
is.
there's a
It is
harder
going.
one.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can't I can't remember how I came up with this, but the dropping money is really powerful for me. I haven't read of this anywhere else. So for Z, she was shocked about
Mm-hmm.
this. For J, she said the amount of money does not matter if it is intentional. For Miss S, she said it's fun and fulfilling. And another Miss J said, so it's possible to give randomly. It's like an act of
Mm-hmm.
kindness.
And that
So
gives you that emotion. What kind of emotion does it get? How does
it's
happiness comes to that? Can we just explain that a little bit further?
because you relinquish the sense of control and attachment, and you have this feeling of liberation, of freedom, that money goes wherever it wants to go, and I am free. I have the capacity to let this go. So there's that sense of freedom.
I
And
like this because
freedom,
it's really controversial because most of
it
the
is.
time in in our world, the real world, right? We want more money. We want to get
Mhm.
more money to be happy, to buy the things we love, do the
Yes.
things we want to do. So there's even there's an argument about that money can buy happiness. So that's why I think this is very, very crucial to
Well,
define,
yeah.
like how money is not an object. Money is not the source of happiness, right? Money is a source, it's an energy,
It is
it's a
an energy.
resource that you can use to give
Yes.
people happiness and give
Mhm.
yourself happiness. But the thing is, from the science of well-being, it's the material things don't last. But I
Yes.
think in this example that Dot said, it's more of like giving that money and using that as a tool to make other people happy. And I think the giving part of that and the anonymousness,
Anonymity,
if
yeah.
that's a
The
word, anonymity,
anonymity, yes.
anonymity of that gratitude is the one that gives you that feeling of happiness. So see, it's not the money that buys the happiness. It's a tool. It's
It is a
important,
tool.
but yeah.
But
And
yeah, go ahead,
you
Kelly.
want to say something about that thought?
For us, the giver of money, so to speak, money, we don't really own money. Money goes around, right? That's why it's called an exchange. So in the
Mm-hmm.
first bullet here, it says just a little bit of discomfort. So if giving away $10 is comfortable for you, give a little bit, up the amount. Maybe is it 12, is it 15? Why do we want to do that? Because we want to push against the discomfort. Remember, in happiness, we want to flow. So if we are uncomfortable with the amount of money that we want to share with people, we just want to touch on that little bit of discomfort and see how it feels for us to push through that, to break that barrier, because we are uncomfortable with so many things, Kelly. So money is one of them. But I'm not saying
Yeah,
that you do this all the time. This is just part of the experiment. And
right.
right about now, I have $10 with me here that I
And you
plan
just
to
gave
drop.
$10 to a friend yesterday.
Oh yeah, I did.
That's
But I intend to drop this $10 somewhere in the
wow.
subdivision today, because
I wish I lived next to you.
it's just so beautiful to receive. Can you imagine that if the same thing happens?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're
And can we
we might.
say that $10 goes a long way when you do it this way than buying yourself something like a material? Because that's also based on science, right? We learned that, Dot. Can you explain that material thing
We
versus
want
experience?
Yes, it's called also time affluence. That's part of it. Experience is more radical in our happiness because it is fleeting. We cannot attach anything to it. There's a thing called hedonic adaptation. Once you buy an expensive purse, for example, and then you put that purse on your table and you say, "Oh, I love that. It's so beautiful. It's so expensive." Da 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 da. And then 5 minutes later, that feeling is gone.
Yeah.
5 months later, it's not that important anymore,
You just
because
drop it on the floor.
yes, you just adapt to it all
Mm-hmm.
the time. You see it, the familiarity of its presence. Whereas an experience, is fleeting, and so it becomes even more powerful because it doesn't stay. So you want to be fully in experience of that event. So yeah, that's it. But Kelly, we can talk for 5 more hours, but I know you have an
About
event to
this
go
topic,
to.
yeah. Yeah,
Let's
we can move on to the last
The
exercise.
last one is from A Course in Miracles. And forgiveness here, forgiveness means in the present moment, the story is not happening. Again, in the present moment, the past, the story of the past is not happening. So, how does this work? Think of someone you have a grudge with. Find a way to send a message to that person. Simply send this message to the other person. Hi, you're in my thoughts today. No more, no less. Do not expect a response. And you just go about your normal way. You can write your insights in your journal. So this one is the most powerful story for me. Miss A had this wonderful, fat, huge anger towards her ex. Okay? Fat and huge anger towards her ex. Never talked to him since their separation, their annulment for maybe years. No? And when this challenge came up, she said, I hate you so much, Dot. I hate you, but I will do what you said. So she did. She thought of this person. She sent him a message. Hi, you're in my thoughts today. And then she felt like she was having a heart attack because
Mm.
in all her life she never thought of saying hi to him, initiate contact with him. But her daughter was on the other side where her ex-husband was living, and the daughter was so shocked to see her dad reacting to the message with such wide-eyed reactions. Oh my God, your mom texted me. And to cut the long story short, Kelly, it spun off in directions that are just so unprecedented because they came into contact again. They started talking to each other again. Their children became happier again because their mom and their dad started talking to each other. And she came to visit, that place where he lives. He visited, he hosted her, he even paid for a legal procedure that she was going through. He paid for it. And she said, Dad, you have to know this because this is so powerful. It
Very,
just
very proud.
cleaned everything for the whole family. Of course, they did not get back together, but that was such a powerful thing to do, Kelly. And that's
Wow.
the end of my story. Forgiveness is not rehashing the whole thing and saying, "Oh, you hurt me so much, but I forgive you." It says, "Hey, it's over.
So
Nothing in the present
forgiveness
moment."
equals happiness because it frees you.
It does. It cleaned it up. It cleaned the way, a grudge is something that imprisons us. So when we push against this, like our story of money, when we set this path of reconciliation, well, not necessarily reconciliation because a person may not respond, but for our part, we have paid the way, like we have opened the door for whatever is coming through. A heart that is broken is a heart that is open, according to
Wow.
YouTube.
Oh,
And
nice.
then
Akala ko according to
YouTube,
someone.
Bono.
Oh,
And so,
YouTube, Bono. Akala, I thought you said
yes.
YouTube.
And a
Wow, this
heart
is
that
amazing.
is
Okay,
broken is a
you
heart that
have
is open.
another.
And then you go through your life satisfaction survey. After you do all these things,
So
you
eight
will
days.
see
You practice that for 8 days.
7 or 8 days.
7 or 8.
And that's it. Thank you so much.
Wow.
My
So to
references
review,
are these are my references: Martin Seligman, Professor Laurie Santos, Course in Miracles, myself, and the Organizational Change Consultants Incorporated. Yep.
wow. Thanks, Dot. These are
You
very
are
powerful.
welcome.
I yeah, I'm so can I just share with everyone that the science of well-being changed my life as well. It's an inspiration for happy me.
Yeah.
And I tell you these exercises that Dot just mentioned, if you just keep practicing them in your daily life, you will feel a different kind of happiness. Happiness that doesn't come from material things. It's deeper and it will give you so much peace and joy and abundance, I might add. So, Dot, you were going to share something with all of us today. Can you talk about the Happiness Project and what you're offering to our community?
Oh, I just funny because I just closed the I closed it.
That's
Yeah,
okay. You
okay.
can just talk about it now and then we can flash it again so people can
Ah,
pause
yeah,
it.
here
I
we
feel
go.
like it's
Here it
better
is.
if you talk about it
Yeah, okay.
so
So,
they can see your face.
all right. Okay. So, let me stop share. Am I sharing? No, I'm not sharing.
No, I'll
I'm not
see you.
sharing
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
All right.
You're good.
So, the Happiness Project is, if you're ready for it, I can't even memorize the date. Oh, wait, here, where's that? All right, here we go. Yeah, if you want to join that, I'm opening that October 23, October 30, and November 6th. October 23rd, October 30th, and November 6th, if there is anyone interested. I'm putting openings for only 4 people per group because this is intimate. This is intensive. It's only good for 7 days, and we get to meet one 1 to 1.5 hours a day every day for check-ins with the group. There's a 15-minute individual call daily with me. That includes coaching, and also 2 half-hour individual coaching sessions within the week. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's these
That's
intensive proven practices. I did not give the full details for the practices,
we
but
can email them a detailed version. But
all right.
guys, take this opportunity to work with Dot. She's amazing and you will learn a lot from her. And then maybe
Thank
you can
you.
become really, really good friends with her after. I think everybody needs that someone like a life coach or, a good friend, in their life. And that's what
Thank
you
you.
are to me, Dot. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Kelly. And I love how we did this today instead of, me just talking and then a question and answer portion at the end of it. I like the interactive thing that we did today. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you very much. So for everyone, how can they reach you if they want to work with you on this happiness project? And they
Well,
can also gift it. Give it to other people. Let's do the exercise. Gift someone a
yeah.
gift of knowledge. Because I'm telling you, this is life changing. It may sound simple, but
Hmm.
in everything, like forming a habit or rewiring our brain, in the science of well
Rewiring.
being, there is a
Hmm.
rewirement
Hmm.
assignment. We did it for 4 weeks. And there are
Yes.
tools that you can do, strategy, support, and
Hmm.
Dot can provide that for you in
Oh,
order to
yes, I can.
practice that gratitude, savoring, starting a habit that you want to change a habit, a bad habit, right? It could be anything.
Yes.
And the things that you learned today is just the surface, the tip of the iceberg. So I invite everyone to connect with Dot, and Dot, feel free to share your information. And we will
Yes.
also share it
Mhm.
on the email as well.
Right. So just a quick wrap up with that, Kelly, because I
Sure.
forgot, So I mentioned in the quote, happiness takes doing, non-doing, and undoing. So the doing that I mentioned was kindness. The non-doing was gratitude, receiving, and savoring. You don't really do anything. You are simply feeling the gratitude, and you're simply receiving, and you're simply savoring. And then the undoing was the money and the relationship, the forgiveness story. You undo that
Mm,
story you have that has been holding you back for years and years. All right. So ultimately,
nice.
happiness is who you really are, and we're just returning to who you really are. That's it.
Thank you. And how can they reach you, Dot?
Dot Lenore, DOTLENORE @gmail.com or 702-498-6185. Text, don't call, text 702-498-6185.
Thank you.
That's quicker. Or you can call Kelly. All right.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, you can message us at happyme.yoga. We have contact information there, or hello@happyme.yoga. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a
Thank you,
great rest of
everyone.
your day. And stay well. Be well. Be happy. Thank you. Bye, Dot.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you.